Okay, let's start with a claim that really flips traditional security thinking on its head. The greatest threat to American democracy. Well, it might not be coming from Beijing or Moscow. It might actually be coming from within the United States itself.
That's right. It's a powerful and pretty counterintuitive thesis from Michael McFaul, Stanford professor, former U.S. ambassador to Russia. And we're diving into the essential insights from his book, Autocrats versus Democrats, China, Russia, America, and the New Global Disorder. This is really practical wisdom, stuff that could genuinely transform how you think and act.
Let's start there then, with this real enemy within. McFaul's argument is that the big ideological contest, autocrats versus Democrats, it's now mainly playing out inside the U.S., driven by our own deep internal polarization. But isn't that maybe a bit alarmist? I mean, historically, external threats have tended to unify the country.
Yeah, but McFaul argues this time is different, strategically worse even.
Why? What makes internal polarization so much worse now?
Because, well, this internal erosion, it means we lose strategic coherence. Economic coherence, too. He really hammers on this statistical hook. An alarming percentage of Americans right across the political spectrum, they just don't trust the freeness and fairness of elections anymore.
Right. And when that basic trust goes.
Exactly. When that evaporates, our adversaries don't need to win some big war. They just need to sort of accelerate the decay that's already happening. He specifically points out that foreign meddling, it's designed explicitly to exploit this existing disunity, to basically maximize polarization for their own strategic advantage.
Okay, so if the biggest challenge really is at home, I mean, how can the United States even begin to compete effectively on the world stage?
Well, then internal repair is step one, then step two has got to be redefining the external competition itself. Which brings us to the next insight. McFaul insists that, everything you thought you knew about great power rivalry, it's probably wrong.
Ah, so this is the not your parents' Cold War idea.
Exactly. It's tempting, isn't it, to just, dust off the old Cold War playbook?
Yeah, containment, proxy fights, clear ideological lines.
Right. But McFaul warns that approach is precisely the wrong one today. Because this current global disorder, it's unprecedented. You've got these modern, highly adaptive autocracies, instant global communications, and critically, this internal democratic instability we were just talking about. It's a whole new mix.
So we need new strategies. Relying on the old 50s playbook just won't cut it.
We absolutely must develop innovative policies. We're fighting yesterday's war otherwise. We need strategies that account for how quickly authoritarian alliances can shift and adapt now.
Speaking of innovation and new thinking, this discussion, along with our more in-depth analysis and full critique, comes to you from Mindful Moments. That's our platform offering AI book analysis and summaries, all designed to, inspire reflection and rational thought.
Okay, let's pivot slightly to what McFaul calls the democracy paradox. He notes, and it's hard to argue, that China's incredible growth really did kill that old myth. The one that said, nations get prosperous and then they automatically become democratic.
Yeah, that single fact seems like a huge point for the autocracy column, doesn't it?
It does on the surface. But McFaul zooms in on the structure of lasting wealth. Okay, so China proved one nation can get rich quickly under autocracy. Fine. But the statistical hook is still there. 9 out of 10 of the world's wealthiest nations are democracies.
Interesting. So what's the difference? The mechanism.
Precisely. McFaul argues it's the democratic freedoms, things like rule of law, free press, transparency. These things enable durable, decentralized, and importantly, replicable prosperity. That provides a long-term advantage that autocracies fundamentally just can't sustain.
Okay, so that potential is our edge, which leads to the question. What policies do democracies need to innovate to really sort of weaponize that potential, especially against regimes whose strength seems to come from stability and, frankly, speed of decision-making?
Right, and that brings us neatly to the blueprint for democratic renewal. McFaul is clear. Democracy's comeback, its resurgence, it won't come from just being nostalgic. It has to come from learning, adapting, and doing it aggressively.
And he offers a pretty actionable framework, right? It's not just vague calls for unity.
No, not at all. He demands specific policy shifts. Things like really strengthening alliances to pool economic weight, investing massively in what you might call digital sovereignty, controlling our own tech infrastructure, and creating specific, targeted programs to attract the best global talent away from authoritarian regimes.
It's quite a powerful transformation message he delivers there, saying renewal in America isn't just possible, but history actually suggests it's probable. But this dangerous trajectory we're on, it absolutely must be reversed if we want to compete globally.
Yeah, and maybe the ultimate provocative thought to leave people with is this. Can these kinds of new grand strategies actually help democracies learn, adapt, and, rise again? Rise above this new, much more interconnected authoritarian challenge?
Lots to think about. Remember, you can start with our 5-minute essential insights, which is what you just heard, then dive deeper with the in-depth analysis. After that, check out the summary, and finally, get the full picture with our comprehensive critique.
Discover genre-based book podcasts at Mindful Moments. Subscribe and nourish your mind on the go.